Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Got Next podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Baldwin, with my co-host, Donovan Moore.
Yes, sir. It's great to be back.
Absolutely. We got Adam Flanagan back on the show with us. He's a regular at this point. Say what's up, Adam.
What's going on, y'all? Appreciate y'all having me back.
Absolutely. So today, basically, we did the playoff predictions a couple weeks ago, and now the matchups are set. We've seen a couple games from all of these teams, so we want to know where everybody stands and what we ultimately have for our finals matchup, who's going to win the finals, etc. So if you're interested in that, that's what the show is, and hope you guys like it. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all that type of stuff. Follow the Instagram, follow the TikTok, and without further ado, let's get into the episode.
Three-pointers. Outside jumper from three. The bucket.
Alrighty, so we will be starting with the West and then moving out East. So starting off, guys, at the top of the bracket, the Thunder and the Pelicans. How do you guys feel about which way this matchup is going to go? Adam, you can start us off.
I'm gonna lean towards the Thunder. They just seem a little bit more ready. I like their matchups that they have on the offensive end a little bit better. I think the deciding factor that not a lot of people talk about is Lou Dort and his defensive presence. I just don't think the Pelicans are quite ready. In my opinion, they have a good group of guys, but just the way that they run their offensive sets, I just don't like it against how young and ready that this Thunder team is.
I'm actually going to disagree with you, Adam. I think I'm going Pelicans. Even without Zion Williamson, the game the Pelicans played in Game 1 with Brandon Ingram playing absolutely terrible, not a usual Brandon Ingram game. He shot bad from the field, and they still only lost by 2 points in a very winnable game, in my opinion. I think the Pelicans just have what it takes, and I think they can really lean on their experience, even though they're a young team as well. That series they had against Phoenix a couple years ago were really the same core, and then they just added C.J. McCollum on to that because I don't think he was there yet for that series. So to add C.J. McCollum to that mix, I think the Pelicans can actually beat the Thunder. I think they're a more physical team. They're better defensively. OKC has had a great season, but I just think in the playoffs, it's a different ball game, and I think the Pelicans can power through. I think this series will definitely go 6 or 7, but I'm gonna take the Pelicans to win it.
That is so interesting. I did not see you picking the Pelicans, honestly. I think I'm gonna go with the Thunder as of right now. I think I like what SGA brings. I think the Pelicans are gonna miss some of that playmaking that I think that you ultimately need in the playoffs. I don't know who their point guard really is, and I think that they try to make C.J. McCollum their guard there, and I don't know if that's really gonna work out against the Thunder. I like what the Thunder have as far as a supporting cast a little bit better than the Pelicans, even though the Pelicans have some great pieces like Herb Jones, Alvarado. Like these guys are solid. So yeah. Like there's a lot of guys like that I feel like make solid contributions on other teams as well as this team. But I do think the Thunder ultimately have I feel like they know their identity a little bit better and they kind of know what their game is. So I ultimately think that will win out in this series, but I guess we'll have to see. Next up, we got the Clippers and the Mavericks. Adam, how do you feel about this matchup?
This one's a tough one for me. I'm a previous times on this show, I'm a big Clippers hater. But take them to win this series. I just don't like this Mavs team. I don't like how they're constructed. You got Luka, you got Kyrie, but who's the next man up? You can't have Derrick Jones Jr. Tim Hardaway Jr., for some reason, the past 2 games has not been there. He had 6 points last game, but he's only running 7-8 minutes off the bench for some reason. I don't know if it's an injury or if I'm
last game he did just get injured. Out of the one before that, he was not. This last game.
But yeah, I just don't think they're just not a consistent team rotation wise. And I think the Clippers have that depth. Now, do I see the Clippers going any farther than the second round? Absolutely not. But I think they got a really easy matchup against this Mavs team.
I agree. I'm gonna go with the Clippers as well. I just feel like in order for the Mavericks to win, Luka and Kyrie have to consistently at least put up 30 apiece all series, which they're both talented enough to do. But I just feel like in the playoffs, it's really the ultimate team effort, and you kind of need those role players to step up when you need them most. And I just think the Mavericks role players don't get enough shots to really get into the flow of the game additionally. So just with all that being said, I'm going to take the Clippers. I know they lost last game, but it was Kawhi's first game back. He was trying to get into the flow. So I think the Clippers will win this in like 6. Maybe it could maybe go 7, but I got the Clippers.
Guess I'm gonna be the lone wolf here. I'm gonna rock with the Mavericks. I think that as far as offense goes, I think that you have all you need as far as Luka and Kyrie. You got one guy that's obviously more strictly scoring minded. You know, Luka is also scoring minded, but when he is double teamed, he has no problem getting rid of the ball, finding the open man. And I'm kind of seeing that a little bit from Kyrie more as well since he's been on this team. Seems like, you know, as the season went on, they started to trust the other guys a little bit more, and like, you know, they're not scared to make that extra pass now. So I like that. I like the addition of Gafford, especially against the Clippers, which I mean, they do have Zubats, but it seems like they don't really utilize him as well as they should. So I like their size there. PJ Washington had a really big game last game. I think that he's going to be big going forward in this series. Like I said, it's really going to ultimately come down to who else is going to show up on those nights outside of Luka and Kyrie. And with Tim Hardaway getting injured, it's kind of, you know, hard to rely on, you know, the Derrick Jones Jr.'s and guys, but I think that they do have enough to make it work, especially if Luka has one of these games against the Clippers that, you know, we're used to seeing him have, you know, the 45s and stuff where he's shooting good and getting the ball to everybody else. So we have yet to see that. Hopefully we see it, and I'm going to rock with the Mavs, but y'all got the Clippers, so I'm outruled on that one. Next up, we got the Timberwolves and the Suns. We've already seen a couple games of this so far. Adam, I mean, do you like what you've seen from the Suns?
Not at all. I haven't seen anything all season. You know, this seems to be a running occurrence with these super teams and these big threes that keep getting together. I don't know why the Suns thought that Bradley Beal was the missing piece in this offense or defense. Devin Booker's having a really hard time out there, it seems like. It seems like Ant's giving them a lot of trouble on the offensive end. And you're even seeing big games from Rudy Gobert offensively, which is very unlikely in my eyes. Again, not a big Suns fan. I've been a Suns hater for a little while, but Timberwolves just seem like they're more ready. I guess we'll see what happens in these next games going into, I think they're going back to Phoenix these next 2. So, I mean, we'll see, but I can see the Timberwolves in 7.
Yeah, I mean, this is tough because I feel like offensively, Phoenix has the talent to get themselves back in this series, but defensively, I don't know if they can really sustain the consistency in order to beat the Timberwolves. Because I just feel like with all the matchups, they're just kind of a wash, really. You know, Anthony Edwards and Devin Booker, they're both going to cancel each other out if they're getting 25, 30 apiece. And KD, you know, he's going to get his 30, but at the same time, Towns is going back at him getting 20, 25. So I know he was in foul trouble last game, but I think I'm gonna go with the Timberwolves to win this, but I could definitely see it going 7. I think Phoenix can for sure win these next 2 at home and have it looking like a whole different ball game after that, just off their offensive talent. But I just think the Timberwolves defensively have been sound and consistent all year, and I think they'll kind of stick to that. And then having home court too really helps in their favor. So I'll take them at 7.
Definitely going with the Timberwolves. I can't tell you how many games, just because, you know, KD, Brad, and Book. I mean, from what I've seen so far, it's going to be a sweep. But I think if I had to actually, you know, be realistic about it, I do think they can get a game or 2. But the way the Timberwolves look like right now, I mean, Anthony Edwards sucked last night, and they still won like pretty handily. And they were only down by 1 point at halftime, and he still was really bad. And Cat was bad at that point. So like, and they're still barely losing. So like, I don't know, man. You get an Anthony Edwards explosion like you did the first game, and it wasn't close. So I feel like is that really the way the series is going? Like if Anthony Edwards shows up, it's a blowout, you know. So I mean, I would go gentleman sweep at this point, but like I thought the Suns were going to be better than this, but it's literally what I said throughout the season, bro. They have no point guard, and when you have guards, you have point guards or shooting guards that are trying to run point guard, they're thinking so much outside of just scoring that it really makes it's hard for them to be effective in those types of situations. Like, for example, Tyler Hero, we're going to talk about a little bit later when we talk about the East. Like, he's having to run point guard right now. So, like, outside of just shooting, you have to think about, hey, like, should I shoot this shot, or is this person open in the corner? Am I passing the ball enough? Like, there's so much other stuff you have to do outside of what you actually do that, like, it's hard for you to do your job at the end of the day. And, like, you see everybody stepping on each other's toes. Like, you know, at halftime, I think, what was it, like, KD? No, I think even at the end, KD had, like, 18 points. I think Brad had 15 or something like that. DB has 20 something. But before, if Devin Booker's just thinking about scoring and not passing and stuff, you're gonna get the 30 points from Devin Booker. You can get 25 from Cam. Instead, everyone's getting a little bit of kind of what they're capable of when everybody's not really living up to their full capacity. So it's not gonna work like that. So I think ultimately the Suns are cooked. And I got Timberwolves in that one for sure. Next up, we got the Nuggets and the Lakers. Adam, you already going first, so go ahead and talk to me, man.
And I guess I got to be honest on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, we're going to take a game. The Lakers are going to take a game or two. We're going into home. I think we win tomorrow night.
It's a must-win.
It's a must-win game.
A must-win.
I don't see us getting swept, and that's me being 100% truthful. I don't see us getting swept, or at least I don't want to think about it. I'll take Nuggets in 6. But the Lakers are gonna fight. Okay, there's not much I can really say. We blew a 14-point lead in the first game, 22-point lead in the second game, and I don't know what we can do, but we're gonna try. So we're gonna step up. I promise you. But Nuggets in 6.
Yeah, I got the Nuggets as well. If the Lakers would have won game 2, I honestly could see the Lakers winning this series. Because with the way they played the first 2 games, they had double-digit leads at halftime both times. Well, not game 1, they were up 3, but they had a double-digit lead in game 1 as well, and kind of let that lead slip away. So I think the game 2 loss is just really demoralizing. I know LeBron's been in many playoff battles, and of course he can bounce back mentally. But the question is, can the rest of the team bounce back? Anthony Davis has put up good games the first 2 games, but it's kind of been the other guys that really haven't been helping them out much. Russell stepped back up, but then where did Hachimura go these first 2 games? So I'm going with the Nuggets. I just feel like they have the mental edge over the Lakers at this point. It's like no matter what the Lakers do, it's like the Nuggets find a way to beat them. Regular season, playoffs, it's inexplicable. I don't know the words for it. I got the Nuggets though.
They beat them 10 times in a row at this point. I mean, it's hard to really pick the Lakers at this point. Trying to think, where was I going to go with this? I mean, LeBron and AD are playing well. That's what I was going to say. Donna, you touched on it. I thought last game was a must-win. Obviously the next game, the game 3 is a must-win. I think last game was a must-win just because, you're in Denver and, it's the Mile High. They're a really tough team, to play at home. You're up 20. Given the circumstances, I usually don't say that if you lose a game 2 that the series is over or whatever, but given the circumstances of the game, you get a really good version of LeBron James, not his best, but you get a really good version of LeBron without the turnovers that he had in game 1. And then you get Anthony Davis at maybe his best that I've seen him offensively in the playoffs for a little bit since probably last year, right? So, I mean, you get those 2.
D'Angelo Russell hit 7 threes.
And D'Angelo Russell hit 7 threes. Is he going to be like that ever again in the series? If you were going to win a game, this was the game. This was the game you had to win. You're up 20. Everything's going right. The Nuggets looked bad offensively for the first time I think I've said in a long time. Jokic was not efficient. He wound up with 9 of 16. That's inefficient for Jokic. And, you still lose. So, that's insane to me. So, at this point, they're cooked as well. So the Nuggets are they're going to do it, and I think they're going to make the finals. We're going to talk about that a little later. You have something to say?
I think the hardest thing with this Nuggets team is that they're so built to beat the Lakers. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing with me, and I hate going on Twitter after every game and seeing, the refs missed this foul on D'Lo. We were up 22 points with a Nuggets team that was shooting 36% in the first half. And we still give it away. We cannot keep playing 2.5 quarters and getting comfortable shooting threes and then not knowing how to make the right rotations. We get Jokic on a pin down on the low block and we can't figure out how to rotate on the cut or the short corner 3. I don't know what the disconnect there is, but it's getting so frustrating to watch because we're a professional basketball team. And, yes, we're playing at higher altitude. We've been doing this for 10 games straight. We know how to play at this altitude. We know how to play at this level. But this Nuggets team, they just seem like they're just so well built to beat us every single time. So I just don't know what else we can do We can ask for better games from Reeves and Hashimura, but it's not coming to fruition at this point. So it's like, it just seems like we're cooked, and I hate to say that, but I don't know. I don't see a lot of teams beating this Nuggets team either. So I guess that makes me feel a little bit better, but who knows? We'll see what happens.
This was the one team that I thought could beat the Nuggets, but I was hoping that it would happen later on when they could probably already be in a rhythm and they kind of know. But like first round matchup, this is nasty for the Lakers. My only other thing is the reason that the Lakers were like leading in this game for a while was Anthony Davis. So then the LeBron Anthony Davis pick and roll, they were killing. They were destroying with that pick and roll. And then as soon as Aaron Gordon gets switched on to AD and the game, the offense starts to get better for the Nuggets, it seemed like the Lakers just all of a sudden they didn't want to do the pick and roll anymore. Anthony Davis is shooting the one shot that he took in the fourth quarter was awful. It was a contested shot from like the elbow, and he's not even in rhythm when he shoots it. Like he's shooting it basically on one leg. It's like a floater, like that. It's nasty, like you can't get that down the stretch, bro. It's bad shots down the stretch. It's inconsistency. And I think it's what we've seen from the Lakers with this entire run since it's been LeBron and AD. Their thing is, when something works for them, they're going to find a way to ruin it. Like they did with the roster in 2020. Everything was fine, and then you have to find a way to ruin it at some point. Like I feel like that's kind of just been a theme with the Lakers. So to see that come into fruition in the playoffs was kind of crazy. So, yeah, don't want to be the dead horse at this point. The Lakers are cooked at this point. So it is what it is. So what we had picked was the Thunder and the Clippers. So that'll be the next round matchup. What do you guys think about that matchup?
I'm gonna go Thunder. I'm gonna go Thunder. I think SGA is going to demoralize James Harden on the offensive end. I don't think that long run for this Clippers team. They have so many injuries piling up, and you never know what's going to happen next game for them with an injury. So I just think with, a young, healthy Thunder team that's ready to play and wants to win something, wants to prove something, I think that they can take this Clippers team to, honestly, 6 games and take it home and go on to the next round. So I'm going to go Thunder.
I'm going to go with the Clippers. I just think the Clippers have a lot of people they could switch out on the perimeter defensively that can guard Shea. I don't think they're smarter than that. I think they'll probably have Terrence Mann on Shea if this was the matchup. Maybe Paul George, and then off the bench you got Norman Powell, even Russell Westbrook. I know he gets a lot of flack, but he does play with a lot of energy. And one thing he will do if it's like a hype point guard matchup, he will at least attempt to guard that guy in the minutes he does get. So I would take the Clippers in this matchup. I just feel like they're the better team, even though the OKC is younger, more explosive, possibly. I just think the Clippers with that experience. And then Ty Lue, coach as well, can't disregard that either. So I think the Clippers will win this matchup.
Very rarely do I say that Zubac is probably going to be the biggest factor on the court. But I think that's actually going to come into fruition. Chet Holmgren, man, I think this is going to be really difficult for him to start, like being able to guard these bigger players in the playoffs and stuff. And I think this is where the Thunder are going to have to, look for a bigger player at that position, because outside of Chet, I mean, you're going to put Mike Muscala on Zubac? Like, is that what we're going to do, guys? Like, he hasn't really been getting minutes. So, I mean, as far as big bodies go, Chet doesn't have that. And Zubac is going to be a big body down there. He's going to have some opportunities to bully. He does have touch around the rim and stuff like that. And again, I think the matchups do actually work out in favor for the Clippers. So, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to pick the Clippers in this matchup, but I don't even have them making them this far, so I didn't want to pick them. So I was forced to do this. Next up, we got the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. That would be the other side of the bracket. Who do you guys got for this one?
I'm gonna go Nuggets. I don't see a team in the West beating this team in 7 games. I just think you have one of the best centers to ever play the game already in his career, in Jokic. I think he's going to give Cat hell. You can do all the rotations. I've seen it before. You can try every single rotation that you want to try. I just don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think they're going to sweep them. I'll probably say Nuggets in 5, though. But I just don't think this Timberwolves team is quite ready to take on a juggernaut like the Nuggets.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Nuggets as well. But I think the Timberwolves could definitely give them a good run for their money. Defensively, they match up. You can let Rudy Gobert, at least defend on Jokic. And then you still got Nas Reed off the bench. And if you want to go small, you got Cat. And then on the wing, they got McDaniels. The Timberwolves are very solid defensively. So I think that's what could keep them in it. But like you said, Adam, in the long run, the Nuggets are just the overall better team. They got the championship DNA already. So I would definitely take the Nuggets and maybe like 6 games, something like that.
Yeah, I like 6. I definitely got the Nuggets here, but again, there were 2 guys in the postseason that I thought could hinder Jokic. It was AD and then Gobert. So AD, he's had his moments. I mean, he's also had his moments where he got cooked, and I think it'll be the same thing with Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert, obviously, I think he'll be a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year after this season is over. So if anybody's going to be able to do it, it'll be Gobert. The thing is, I don't think he'll be able to do it. So, yeah, ultimately picking the Nuggets here in 6. And that leads to our conference finals matchup, according to us, which would be the Nuggets versus the Clippers. I feel like I know where you guys are going with this one. Adam, who you got?
Nuggets in 6. Nothing else. That's it. Nuggets in 6.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
I'm going to go Nuggets in, like Adam says, 6. But if the Clippers are fully healthy, I mean, who knows? But Nuggets in 6.
We'll go Nuggets in 5, actually, in this one.
Wow.
I think James Harden, especially in a series like this where you play the smarter team too. Like, I think right now, like the Mavs, you can argue that the Clippers are actually the smarter team between the Mavericks and the Clippers right now. And I think you could honestly argue the same thing if they played the Thunder, that they could arguably be the smarter team. You're not going to be the smarter team in this matchup, and usually the smarter team makes James Harden look pretty bad. So I think I'm going to rock with the Nuggets in this matchup in 5. And that brings us to the East. Let's get started here, man. The Celtics versus the Heat. I'm going to start on this one, unfortunately. Like I said earlier, it's already an uphill battle because we're without Jimmy. But then you add on the fact that Rozier's not playing. You add the fact that Duncan Robinson's not playing. Like, come on, bro. I don't really know how we're going to fight in this, bro. And then you got Tyler Hero. Since we have, no other point guard running and Rozier's not playing, Tyler Hero's running point guard. And he's not, running point guard against any other backcourt. Like, he can just get buckets on. Like, it's not a Tyrese Maxey matchup or something like that where it's 2 offensive guys. You're playing Derek White and Drew Holiday. And if you don't like that matchup, hey, you can switch on to Jason Tatum. Or you can switch on to Jaylen Brown. Or you can switch on to Al Horford. Like, bro, every matchup is nasty, bro. It's disgusting. And, like, he's not going to be able to really catch a rhythm. Honestly, I told AJ, who's also on the podcast pretty often at this point, I said, look, we have to see at least one game from Tyler Hero where he's not hindered by this backcourt. There has to be at least one game where he can show that, like, I'm a factor. And, like, if that doesn't happen, then I think his time's over, bro. Like, it's unfortunate. He just came back from injury, like, not even a couple weeks ago, like his 7th game back, and he's playing the best backcourt in the NBA. So, and out of position at that. So, I don't know. It's looking nasty. Obviously, we're going to lose. I got Celtics. I got it being a sweep, man. It's nasty. I have it being a sweep. We're without our best player, and then without Rozier and Duncan. Like, I don't know how we're really supposed to compete here. So yeah, I got a sweep.
Yeah, I mean, I got the Celtics. Mitch, you're forgetting one, key player that you guys are out without a few Jimmy, Duncan. I mean, you got the best power forward ever played the game in Kevin.
Oh my God, bro! He's been good though. He's been good.
Yeah, okay. All jokes aside, though, like you said, Jimmy's out. I really don't think Rozier and Duncan played that big of a factor being out as it's being led on.
But my thing is the roles. My thing is that the roles are more defined. Like Terry Rozier would be bringing the ball up. Hero can just focus on the scoring, and then Duncan can just shoot, even if Tyler Hero's off. With them being out, people are forced into really bad situations. That's my thing.
Yeah, but that's my thing, though, is I think we've been asking this from Tyler Hero for years now, right? We've been asking him to step up. Jimmy goes down. Tyler Hero was, the Heat's next man up. You got to trade Tyler Hero for a lot of these superstars. I think this is his time to do something. That's a lot easier said than done. I get that, but I think the Heat aren't playing as well as we've seen the Heat play without Jimmy. We've seen big games from this Heat team without Jimmy. But I just think they just don't look ready to me. You can see the presence without Jimmy. You can see the demeanor of the players without Jimmy. But I guess I'm getting to Celtics sweep regardless. But Kevin Love will step up, so we'll just.
All right, Dono.
Yeah.
Yeah, Celtics. I don't really have much to say about it. The Heat are clearly injured, but I think if they were a healthy team, the Celtics would still win. But I'm gonna take the Celtics.
Cool. All right, next up we got the Cavs and Magic. So far it is 2-0 Cavs. Who you got, Adam?
It's just a nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty matchup for a playoff game. I guess I'll go Cavs because they just seem like they're able to run for the full, time of the game than the Magic are. I like the Magic and how they're built, but they just, talking about a young team that doesn't look ready, it's the Magic front and center. So, yeah, I guess I'll just go Cavs in 5. I think Magic will be able to take a game, but that's about it. I hate this matchup for a playoff.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cavs as well. The Magic have had a very solid season, but I just feel like in this series, you can really tell they don't necessarily have shooters. They have a lot of perimeter guys, 6'9", 6'10" guys, but none of them are really knockdown shooters, so to say. So I think if the Magic adds some shooters to the fold, they could be better going down the road. But in this series, I'm definitely going to go with Cleveland. I just think they're the better team. And it's kind of a weird matchup, like Adam said. So, Cavs.
Donna, we've been at this podcast thing for 3 years or something like that, right? So, there's going to be some trends. There's been some things that we've repeated here and there. For a while, it's needing a center. They get Kristaps Porzingis. You know what I mean? How's that working? So now it's the Magic in this point guard situation, buddy. We've been at this for years, buddy. The rotation is awful. It's really bad. You're starting Jalen Suggs, who I think is actually a good player. He brings a lot of good energy. He does a lot of good things defensively, and I think he's a 6-man at best. I don't think he's a legit NBA starter. I think he's an off the bench guy that can give you some really good stuff. And then you had Gary Harris starting. That's just nasty as well. I don't really know the last time I've seen Gary Harris go off in an NBA game. I don't even know the last time he was spoken about in NBA circles. Gary Harris is bad. And then off the bench, you got Markelle Fultz.
My guy.
And then you got Cole Anthony. Also, enough said. It's a nasty guard rotation, especially against Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. It's very glaring to me in these games. And then also paired with the bad three-point shooting that Donovan talked about. You got bad guard rotations, and then your centers, your big forwards, like your stars on the team that are forwards, are trying to run point guard, and they're trying to, get good shots for other guys. It's like that's not what they should be doing. That's not what they should be focused on. So you're seeing those guys trying to play out of position. It's not working. And they need guards, bro. And honestly, I think this is a sneaky place for Klay Thompson to go in the offseason. I think if they get a good starting point guard, they can have Klay on the side, kind of play some defense, and also just catch and shoot some threes. And that'll open up some things for the forwards as well. So that's what I got. I got the Cavs winning because the Magic just look nasty. It's a bad roster. Next, we got the Bucks and the Pacers. It is 1-1 in this series. I don't know when Giannis is coming back. No update on that. So can the Bucks do it without Giannis?
In my opinion, I think they can. I don't think it's been a trend with this Pacers team all year is the defense in all 5 spots are not it's just not there. I don't think Giannis being out the best time for Giannis to be out in a series against the Pacers. You got Tyrese Halliburton, who's completely disappeared since All-Star break. I know he's had that hamstring injury. Maybe he's rushing it too much, but that's also on him. If you're not ready, don't play. You're hindering your. But yeah, I think the Bucks. You got Bobby Portis that's stepping up. Dame's playing like Dame. I know he had that big first game in the first half. He didn't do anything in the second half, which blows my mind to still even think about. But I just think this Bucks team it's good enough without Giannis to beat a Pacers team.
Did Chris Middleton get badly hurt the other night? Because I remember he got hurt. Is he out for a couple games or?
I think he strained something in his ankle. I probably 1 or 2 games that he'll be out.
I didn't even see that. That's interesting.
I don't know how bad it was. I know he got hurt. I think he's out for
So he is confirmed out for a couple games?
I think so, unless I'm just reading the wrong stuff.
if Chris Middleton is out for a couple of games, I just feel like that's too much to put on Dame. It's almost like the same situation he was in Portland at that sense. And then I think the Pacers going back home as well. I think I would take the Pacers to win this series if Middleton is out. But if man, yeah, this series is really dependent on if people are coming back from injury, if they're in out. I'm gonna go with the Pacers. I'm gonna take the Pacers. Giannis is most likely out for this whole series, and then if Middleton has to miss a couple games, I just feel like that's a lot to put on Dame. He's done it before, but I just feel like in the playoffs, especially going to Indiana, it'd be different if they were coming back to Milwaukee because you got the crowd on your side. But going to Indiana, those fans are going to be rowdy, and then you don't know what type of performance you're going to get from the role players on the Bucks. I'm gonna take the Pacers.
Adam, who did you take? You took Bucks or Pacers?
I got Bucks.
You got Bucks?
Yeah.
I'm the tiebreaker. I'm gonna go with the Pacers. I don't know when Giannis is coming back. That seems like the more significant injury here, and then Middleton added onto that is like, that's crazy. Tyrese Halliburton, I've done the math. All right, he's been a different guy since December 31st. But I don't think that you're ultimately going to need the best version of Tyrese Halliburton to win this, especially if Giannis and Middleton aren't going to play. So, yep, I got the Pacers in this one. Next up, we got the Knicks and the Sixers.
This Knicks team looks ready to me, man. I don't know what it is with this Sixers team. I think the Knicks got lucky on that inbounds 3 last game.
That 3 was insane. Hold on, I just want to put that out there. That 3, the last time we've seen a ball bounce like that and still go in the bucket was against the Sixers when Kawhi hit. Go ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think this Knicks team is ready, regardless of a little bit of a shooter's touch on that 3 to win the game. Joel Embiid looks messed up. There's something wrong with Joel Embiid. I don't know if they're pumping him with painkillers or something. I don't know if you guys saw that clip. He was on the free throw line. He was trying to blink, and only his right eye was blinking, and his left eye was just completely out. Manual.
I looked at a video of it. Somebody apparently brushed his eye, and I think it was in game 1, I believe. And you could see him visibly kind of messing with the eye afterward, and that's when it started. Was in that game. So, and then comes out that interview where he's talking about the other night where he's like, yeah, I think that we're going to be able to win and stuff. Like he's covering his eye and stuff. So there's an eye injury there. I don't know what else happened. I don't know why I haven't announced it either, but yeah.
But now I'm going to go with Knicks. I think this Knicks team's just ready. I think Joel Embiid can keep playing at the level he has been playing with, struggling through an injury. I really like Tyrese Maxey, but he's still just he just won most improved, I think, which is weird player to win most improved after averaging 20 points. But regardless, I just think this Knicks team's ready. I think they'll probably get him out of here, and I'd probably go 5-6. I think the Sixers can probably take a game or 2 here, but I'll go with Knicks.
Yeah. I think the Sixers will win these next couple games at home, but I think for the series, I'm going to take the Knicks as well. Like you said, Adam, Embiid just isn't right. Maxey, he's been putting up a great effort, and Maxey has been doing his part as well. It's kind of like the second star on the team. I just feel like with the Sixers, Tobias Harris, you're getting $40 million, and I can't even get 10 points. That's not great. I think Kyle Lowry and Nick Batum have been solid in their roles for the Sixers. I just think with the money they're paying Tobias Harris, this is kind of the time for him to step up and give them a good 15 to 20 points because I really think it'll help them. I think he'll give them those performances at home. I just think when they go back to New York, you don't know what you're going to get. So I'm going to take the Knicks to win this. But I do think the Sixers will win these next couple at home and make it interesting. But I think the Knicks will win the series in 6 games, 7 games.
Whether it's at home, MSG, neutral location, you don't know what you're going to get from Tobias Harris on any given night. You never know. And he's nasty. It doesn't get talked about enough, bro. He's really bad. And he's been bad for years. I don't know why they won't just get rid of him at this point. But the Knicks are going to win this series. It's not really a question there. Embiid is fraudulent, guys. I've been saying it for years, man. And I just, it's unfortunate he hasn't been healthy and stuff, but I mean, there's other unfortunate stuff has happened, for Tyler Hero and stuff. And I can't make mistakes for him. I can't make excuses. It happens. If you show up and you're playing in the game and you're not able to be yourself, it's on you at the end of the day. So like,
where are you seeing that the fraudulent part of? Because he's been the top point scorer in each of these games. He's I think averaging 30 in these last 2 games with 12 rebounds, getting his assist. I don't know, man. I don't see that fraudulent.
I'm seeing it. He didn't have any rebounds in the second half of their last game.
I hear
Zero
you.
rebounds. That is awful.
I hear you. I just don't. I think the fraudulent card's a little.
I like the stats. The stats look good. It's the way he gets the stats too. The free throw merchant stuff is real, bro. It's bad. Like him and Jimmy Butler, both of them. Like, and I'll say it about Jimmy because that's my guy. He's a free throw merchant, bro, and so is Joel. He just throws his body everywhere. It's nasty, and I don't know, bro. I feel like really where Joel is at right now is where people thought Jokic was 2 years ago when he had the MVP. It was like you got to start winning in the postseason before we start, giving you this solidified, title of being one of the best bigs in the league. And I don't know. I think Anthony Davis is outplaying Joel Embiid so far in these playoffs. I don't think that's a hot take. I mean, Joel Embiid just does not look. He's obviously not healthy and stuff, and it's not. He's not going to get healthier as the series goes on. So like they're cooked, bro. That's it for the Sixers. So I mean, I'm ultimately going with the Knicks. They might be better without Julius Randle too. That's another conversation for another day, though.
I think.
So next up, we got the Celtics and the Cavs from what we picked. What do you feel about this matchup?
Celtics in 4. Cavs team can keep. I think that they're playing a Magic team again that's just not ready. I think they're going to go into a Celtics team that's been making the Eastern Conference Finals and the finals the last 3 years. Celtics in 4. Yeah, I don't really have too much to say. I just don't think that you can get a lot out of Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, but it's a 5-on-5 game, and the Celtics 5 has been playing rotationally some of the best basketball this whole season. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Celtics as well. I might give the Cavs 1 game. That's a strong maybe though, but I just think the Celtics, they're a complete team. I don't really see anybody standing in their way in the East. Embiid is hurt, Giannis is hurt. I can't really think of anybody that can defeat the Celtics right now on the Eastern Conference side.
Yeah, Celtics in 4. I might give the Cavs a game, but I got to see some more games. They're also playing the Magic, so I haven't really seen much. Next we got the Knicks and the Pacers. This would be a definitely interesting matchup.
I think I'm going with Knicks again. I think we're going to see a Celtics-Knicks Eastern Conference Finals here. Again, the Pacers defense has just never been able to hold up for 4 quarters straight. They can score the hell out of the ball, they can, but again, if it depends on Tyrese Halliburton and how he's playing, and then you got Miles Turner. If he's going to play well against Hartenstein, who's been playing really good defensive ball lately. Mm-hmm. But I'll probably go Knicks in 5 on this one.
Yeah, I will go with the Knicks as well in this series. I just think their defensive intensity is kind of what will overwhelm the Pacers here. And I think another thing that makes the Knicks solid is they have multiple people that they could throw at Siakam and Halliburton. You got OG Anunoby, and then you still got Josh Hart. That's a dog on defense. And then DiVincenzo plays with a lot of effort and intensity as well. So Mitchell Robinson coming back off the bench for them, that's pretty solid. And then you got McBride off the bench, another defender who plays tough. So the Knicks just have a lot of defenders, really. And I think that's what kind of will get them over the hump if this matchup were to be.
I don't like the Knicks, but I think have them winning this series, but the Pacers have a good chance. Like, I think the Pacers, like what the Pacers are good at is a good counter to what the Knicks are good at. Like the Knicks are a good defensive team, but the Pacers can run you out of the gym. Like if on a good night, like especially when Tyrese Halliburton is cooking, and like maybe if Jalen Brunson plays the way that he's been playing recently, like I think that they could definitely catch him slipping for a couple games. So I don't know, but I think ultimately I do have the Knicks in this one. But I wouldn't be shocked to see the Pacers put up a good fight. It could go 6 or 7. Eastern Conference Finals, the Celtics and the Knicks. This kind of feels like the last matchup we had. Adam, who do you have winning for this one?
I'm going to go Celtics, but I'm going to go Celtics in 7. I think this is going to be one of the better Eastern Conference Finals that we've seen in a while here. I think kind of like what you said with the last matchup, Mitch, I think both teams are just very, very good on both ends of the floor, and what they're good at, they're great at. I don't see flaws in these teams. especially just saying this year. I think the deciding factor, again, is going to be Jalen Brunson and how he's going to be able to step up being the best player on his team and just see what he can do against the Celtics team. But I just think the Celtics have too much, and I think they're ring chasing at this point, and they're just ready to, try to get back to this finals and prove a point. So I'm going to go Celtics 7.
Celtics. I got Celtics. I just think they're the better team here. The Knicks. I know we've been talking a lot about how defensively sound they are, but I was thinking a series like this with Boston, their whole starting five can shoot from behind the 3-point line. They're interchangeable all around the wing. And when the Celtics are on, I don't really think there's anybody that can outscore them. And then flip that to the defensive end. Drew Holiday, solid defensively. Derek White. The Celtics just got a great blend of role players, and then of course you got Tatum and Brown, who really all comes down to will they show up when they need them most. So I think they won't have that issue in the East, like I said earlier. So I would go with the Celtics in, I would say 5, maybe 6 games if they're kind of like too reliant on a 3-1 game. I would say Boston is 6 with this.
My thing with the Knicks and why I don't think that they'll make it this far is outside of Brunson, I don't know what they're going to get offensively from everybody. Like, DiVincenzo is good, but I feel like he's also good when he gets open looks and stuff like that. When his looks are a little bit tougher, it's going to be harder for him to score. Josh Hart is not necessarily a scorer, but I feel like he also gets left open a lot. But like when these guys are going to have to make shots on their own and create shots for others and themselves outside of Brunson, I don't know if I trust anybody on that team to do that. And especially with these teams that shoot a lot of threes and stuff, you're going to need to be able to keep up score wise. Brunson can't do everything. So I don't know who else they're going to be able to trust offensively consistently enough, especially to keep it with the Celtics. And then Donald talked about it. Everybody on the roster for the Celtics can shoot from outside. So, your Hartensteins that are having big impacts now, they're not going to have as big of an impact when they're having to guard on the perimeter. So, your Mitchell Robinsons and stuff it's not going to really work out as well. So, obviously I got the Celtics. I think it'll probably go maybe 5 or 6. I don't see it going 7 though. So for the finals, this is ultimately what I have as well. The Nuggets and the Celtics. I think these are the 2 best teams from the 2 conferences. So who do you got, Adam?
Man, I'm gonna go the Nuggets. I just think we haven't seen a team like this in a while now that's just been able to dominate every end of the court. I think we're gonna see a Nuggets repeat. I think the Celtics are there. I think they have the right team, but I just think this is the worst possible matchup for them in the finals, and they've gotten that the last few years. So I'm going to go Nuggets. I think we're going to see Jamal Murray really shine here. Drew Holiday's a great defender, but we've seen it kind of throughout the season that when he gets matched up against these superstar guards, or sorry, maybe not superstar. Maybe I'm giving Jamal Murray a little bit too much credit, but just really offensive-minded guards. I think Jamal Murray's going to really shine. I think MVJ is going to really shine here too. Obviously, you're going to get your big games out of Brown and Tatum, but I just don't think it's going to be enough.
You mentioned Holiday, White. I think White is actually a better defender right now than Holiday. So Derek White being on Jamal Murray changed.
I'm thinking more just so matchup, and we're going position for position.
Okay.
But I think White 100% is a better defender. But I just think they're going to try to stick Holiday and then obviously make the rotation if it's not working. But
I think I would go Boston in this one.
Woo!
And my reasoning for going Boston, I just think that offensively, I just think they match up overall with the Nuggets. I don't really see a better matchup in the league for the Nuggets because I just kind of feel like how their lineups are made. I know Porzingis can't really guard Jokic, but at the same time, I don't think Jokic can get out there to guard Porzingis on the 3-point shot. And then when you get to the backcourt, the only real go-getter in terms of getting their own shot in the Nuggets backcourt is Jamal Murray. So when you go on the Celtics side, you got Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and that's if they show up. And then defensively, you still got Derek White and Drew Holiday, who you can kind of switch around and throw out there. And I just think the Celtics will win this one because I think that loss they had to Golden State a couple years ago, I just think they have been right there to get back to the finals each year since then. I just think it's finally time for them to get over the hump. I think Drew Holiday can really be the X factor here for them. And low key, I also think Al Horford could maybe be a X factor for them as well. Defensively, coming off the bench, spot minutes guarding Jokic, and then a couple corner threes and stuff like that. You kind of need those type of guys. So I think that will kind of be the X factor here, and I think the Celtics could beat the Nuggets, and I think Boston will have home court too. So I would take Boston in 6 or 7. I would say 6.
6. That Al Horford take is, and that's why we do the show. That's why we do the show. I didn't think about that. I'm not gonna lie. What I saw Al Horford out of Boston last year was it was criminal. It was criminal. I got the Nuggets though. I do got the Nuggets. I think that it'll be interesting to see what the Celtics do if they do lose, because obviously they got the Tatum extension coming up and they just played Jaylen Brown $300 million. So team might be looking a little different if that's the case. I just think Jokic is too much, and I think when it comes to these series, it's going to be about identity a lot. I feel like the Nuggets know who they are more than the Celtics do. I feel like the Celtics kind of feel it out. They're a good 3-point shooting team. That is a little bit of their identity now. But when the 3-point shot's not hitting, can they find another identity? I think the Nuggets have a lot of different identities. They can be a really great defensive team on one night. They can also be one of the best teams in the league offensively on one night. So like they can do it a lot of different ways. They can hit threes consistently. They can do it in the post. They can make it a team game where Jokic doesn't have to do a whole lot. So like it's a lot of different ways they can play, and I think that's important in a playoff series, especially in the finals. So yeah, I ultimately have the Nuggets repeating here, and Jokic is, if he does it, man, Jokic is going to be cemented as one of the best bigs in the NBA and of all time. So yep. That's going to do it for this episode of the God Next podcast, man. I hope you guys like the picks and predictions.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys comment your picks and predictions for this year's playoffs, and I hope we can do another episode going forward. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all that type of stuff, and we'll catch y'all next time.
Yes, sir.